Good morning, friends. I hope all you are doing really well. Finally, this year comes to end. Um, Wish you very, very happy New Year 2024. So, guys, coming to our topic, vendor initial assessment practical. Right. In this session, we will discuss about the practical demo with the help of an Excel sheet. Right. That means what are the initial assessment and what is that particular format from where customers may put the questions and in what format does vendor has to provide the answer and how can customer will review that particular questions, right? Okay, so guys, this is a format as you can see in the screen. So there are three sections: part 1, part 2, and part number 3. Part 1 is dedicated for the customers questionnaires, part 2 is dedicated for the vendors response, and part 3 is dedicated for the customers reviewers. And the last column is ideal guidance. That means what is the ideal answers of that particular question said in questions part. Here I am taking the example of the governance control, like customer is asking to vendor that does vendor has appointed the information security officer or an equivalent officer who can take the overall responsibilities of organization. Guys, I'm so sorry here the spelling of overall is not correct. I apologize. So this question comes under the subcategory of governance insight. Now, uh, these questionnaires may be shared to the vendors part. Okay, now vendor has to fill the answers under the part 2 sections, right? If yes, then yes. If no, then what is the reason of not implementing the GRC officer, right? And once vendor has submitted the response, customer reviewers will provide the status that it is acceptable or not. And if not acceptable, then what is the comment as per the basis of the ideal guidance. So this is the generic format, right? Maybe possible your organization has certain tools who has different types of categories as well, but this is a general format. uh, Most of the most of the mid cap organization uh, just a similar kind of these practical format. So under governance part, this is question number 1. In the next particular slides we will discuss more questions following under the questionnaires column. So is there a committee that oversees monitor the information security activities across the organizations, right? Is there a framework to control the implementation and operations across the organization? That means, guys, under governance sections, these are the certain questionnaires asked by the customers towards the vendors. Vendor has to provide the response, and accordingly, customers assessors have to review it. Okay, as per the guidance of the ideal answers. Okay. Next control is the security policies, right? That means what are the certain checks customer has to verify from the vendor under the security policies. Does organization has proper roles and responsibilities, duties defined in the organization or not? Vendor has to provide the answer. If yes, yes. If no, then what is the reason? Next question, does employees has contractors accept the confirmation of these policies? That means, guys, whatever are the policies defined by the vendor, does those employees and the contractors are has accepted that one or not? Question number 3, how will you ensure that all the following the policy? That means guys, does employees and subcontractors of the vendors are actually adhering these policies or not? uh, right. So guys, question number 3 means does employees and subcontractors of the organizations are actually adhering these policies or not? Very simple. Next question, are these policies are implemented during the implementation of the project from day one or not? That means from day one when the implementation of the project was happening. So are these policies are implemented on the same date or implemented later on? Next is the risk framework. Guys, you may refer the previous videos I had made, n numbers of videos over the risk management. Next control is the audit one, right? Audit is the most important and most frequently used by every vendors. So how frequent vendor is doing the audit? That means customer is asking to the vendor that how frequent you doing the audit, like once in a quarter or like once on an annual basis, right? Next is when was last audit happened? That means last audit happened at least, I mean latest by an year, right? For example, guys, today's date is 19th December. So last audit should happen the 19th December 2023. Next is proper enhancement is doing after finding the gaps in audit or not? That means under audit, if there was any gap, right, or any vulnerabilities, does vendor is serious to close that particular gaps or vulnerabilities or not? Next section is the compliance one. So under compliance, guys, is your organization is ISO certified? If no, can you provide the timeline? Is your organization is PCI compliant? Guys, this question is applicable if vendor is processing the transactional data. That means storing, processing, or transmitting the transactional data. Next is provide the QSA report. That means question number 3 is related to 2. Okay, how will you ensure that all updates like patches, signatures, and updates are implemented in your organization? So, guys, these are the certain samples of questions every I mean customer has to ask to the vendors. This is initial assessment, right? So, guys, I had taken few controls. Okay, in the next video I will take more sub controls over the major controls like incident management, right? BCP, PCM, all these. So guys, how you likes these videos? If these videos are really helpful, you kindly subscribe, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to share. Yeah, thank you so much.